Now, Steve, before the break, we were discussing specifically Harden's role in the tension between himself and the organization in Houston. But I'm curious, Kaz and I both immediately think of Stephen Silas, first-time head coach in a role having to deal with a situation that he didn't ask for. And, of course, the other teammates on that squad, whether it's John Wall recently traded or guys already on that roster. How do they navigate this? Because I know that professional athletes feel like they're not going to count one another's pockets and get in each other's business. A season is still looming.
It absolutely is. And the truth is, it sounds like James Harden is really sending mixed messages because he has not communicated with Stephen Silas, the first-year coach, who clearly wants the best for the organization. He wants his best player there. He's been very open about that, but he has not been pushy. He has said, I've given James Harden space, but we need him here. He's our best player. He's our future. We have him under contract for 2 years. And so there's no communication there. And then on the other hand, John Wall has said since he's been traded to the Houston Rockets, he's been in good communication with James Harden. He said he wants to be there. He expects James will show up very soon. And so there's mixed messages. Some guys are saying he's going to show up and it'll be fine, and it's a COVID protocol. That's why he hasn't been there. And then there's the other side where there's the clear rumors that he's unhappy and wants to be traded. So as a player, you've got to go do your job. You've got to go practice. As a coach, you've got to go do your job. And I think it goes the same for James Harden. He is a professional making $40 million a year. He needs to go put the work in. Let the pieces fall where they may. If he's not where he wants to be, there are worse things. I think it is important to be professional and continue to do your job.
And this week on As the Rockets Turn, we'll find out what happens today where James Harden lands. But let's take it to the East Coast. Matter of fact, let's get even more specific with the Atlantic Division. Steve Novak, I'm going to run down some of the Atlantic Division teams, and you're going to tell me which player we should all keep an eye on. And obviously, we're going to start with the hometown New York Knicks. What's the one player we should keep an eye on when it comes to the New York Knicks?
You know, I think the guy with the Knicks that you really need to watch this year going into his third year is Kevin Knox. I know there's a lot of new names, a lot of new faces, and a lot of potential with a lot of the roster. Obi Toppin being picked, great selection. But to me, Kevin Knox is in his third year. Obi Toppin, a rookie. You expect a rookie to be a rookie. Kevin Knox has not played up to his potential. I think he has said that recently. The front office is saying, we need you to be better. We need you to perform. Coach Tibbs has been in Kevin Knox's ear all summer long since he signed with the New York Knicks, and it sounds like they've made him a priority. So he is a guy who has the potential to make that leap, improve, help this New York Knicks team. I think if he can have a solid year, he can really help the Knicks.
All right, how about the Boston Celtics? Who should we look at over there?
With the Boston Celtics, obviously free agency and the draft and everything has happened quickly, but with the Celtics, Tristan Thompson is a new name. And he can absolutely change what this Boston Celtics team looks like. We're used to seeing Tristan in a Cleveland Cavaliers uniform. He's now with the Boston Celtics, and he is ferocious. He's in the paint, getting rebounds, setting screens, willing to fight guys. And for a team with Jaylen Brown and young talent, Jason Tatum, who just re-signed for the Max, he can kind of be their veteran, their leader. He can take some of the heat for these guys. I think Tristan Thompson's in a great spot to be a leader, a place to win, and he's got young guys that he can help along. So he, to me, can be a key cog, really, for the Boston Celtics this year.
All right, let's take it across the bridge. I could probably guess who you're going to guess, but Brooklyn Nets, a player to watch this season.
Well, oh, wait a minute. That didn't happen yet. I mean, Kevin Durant. He's Kevin Durant is a guy to watch for sure. He's coming off of multiple injuries. He hasn't been himself, but he is in Brooklyn where he wants to be. He's got Kyrie as his running mate. He's got Steve Nash as his coach, Mike D'Antoni as his assistant, Sean Marks as the GM. They are building this franchise right now, and he certainly has been given the keys to the franchise when he was given a max extension when he blew out his Achilles. So I think he knows the organization believes in him. Who can he be? Can he be back to that Kevin Durant level? That's an all-star. That's the best player in the league. We will see. He will make the difference for this team for sure.
All right, let's keep it rolling. The Philadelphia 76ers, probably a team on the brink this year. Who should we look out for there?
They should be.
Yeah, I know it's a bit of a strange pick with the Philadelphia 76ers, but mine is Seth Curry. And it's more of because the Philadelphia 76ers got Danny Green. They have Tybal. They have guys that can knock down shots. Seth Curry is one of the highest percentage three-point shooters in NBA history so far in his career. He's making $8 million a year. He's not a $35, $40 million a year guy, but he can change this team and this franchise if they can put the right pieces, which I believe they have, around Ben Simmons, around Embiid, and have shooting around the guys that cannot shoot. Then he can really help this team, and he is an elite shooter just like his brother.
Yeah, best believe Doc Rivers is going to draw up some plays for his new son-in-law. Let's jump to Toronto, man. What about the Toronto Raptors? What team should we look at over there?
Van Vliet is the guy. He just signed a 4-year, $85 million contract, $21 million a year. Can he play up to it? He has shown that he absolutely can. He'll be the leader of this team. He is the youngster who has shown the poise to be the future. Serge Ibaka is now gone. Kawhi Leonard is now gone. There is Kyle Lowry. There is Fred Van Vliet. There is Pascal Siakam. But he has the ball in his hands. Van Vliet can really make things happen and has. He has been such an important reason for why they have been as good as they were 2 years ago when they won it, and why they overachieved this last season when people thought, they don't have Kawhi Leonard anymore. What can they really do? He stepped up and was big time. With him now signing an extension, I expect to see him play even better.
Now, last but
all right, here's the big question.
Yeah, go ahead, Monica. My fault.
Of all those teams, you just gave us the rundown. Which one do you expect to surprise?
You know what? There are always so many surprises in the NBA. I think if there was a team that may disappoint, I would say it might be the Boston Celtics. If there was a team that might surprise, I would say it could be the Philadelphia 76ers for the reason that we just talked about. They have the pieces around Simmons, around Embiid, to be a really special team. It reminds me a little bit of the Orlando teams back in the Stan Van Gundy days when it was Dwight Howard down low, and they put shooters all around a big fella that was going to fight and battle but couldn't shoot the ball, but he was their focus. And I think that they've really done a good job. Daryl Morey now in Philly, making moves, getting the right pieces. They feel like a team, not the best team maybe on paper. You might look at the Lakers and say, they're better. There's several teams in the NBA that you might look at the roster and say, Philly's good, maybe not the best, but if they can mesh, if they can get that electricity, which I do think at this point where the game of basketball is at does come from playing with pace, shooting, playing quickly, they really do seem to have a well-rounded team.